You know what else needs to happen? We actually do need to burn the Constitution. No more religion. It's all gone. Wash it all away. Get rid of it. I'm like, I don't give a shit if you like both of us. You're a fucking retard. I don't give a fuck about you. You know, kick rocks.
Screw these trolls. They only can say something that is not concrete.
Well, the same trolls are the same ones that are dropping the comments for the one guy who screen records everything and then edits everything in a certain way to make it look like I was on the wrong side.
I can't wait to see the trolls video.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, you would have lost like $3,000," and it's like,
that's all he ever
how?
does.
Welcome back, True Seeker.
The mainstream media will lie to you all day. The trolls will lie to you all day. We don't lie over here. We don't have any reason to lie. There's nothing to lie about. But yeah, before I do go, you know, the Patreon link's in the description. If you guys want to join us for the March Madness discussion, see if we can nail another March Madness. Last year, a lot of people won big on UConn.
You guys, is this not the sounding of a fucking fraud? Did you hear what he said?
Last year, a lot of people won big on UConn.
Just another full of shit person.
It's Tinfoil Hat Tuesday, and it's time for a little lesson.
Gematria FX Sports is down 6,000 subscribers since last March, and the channel just goes down every month. They really punished Gematria FX Sports for what we revealed about March Madness.
You might be following someone who is just severely mentally ill. It sounds like it. All the evidence points to it.
It's another year of the rigged March Madness tournament, and we're going to see if we can turn it into another winner.
I doubt it.
Last year, we liked the 16 to beat the number 1 seed Purdue.
So now we all get to see that you are kind of a human piece of shit. You just sit here and lie and distort the truth.
You know why this work hasn't taken off?
Yeah, because of you.
No, the reason why is because humanity deserves to be judged. It's because humanity's fucking dumb. Yeah, there's very few people that actually want to change anything on the tube. There's a lot of people that just want views and YouTube ad dollars.
Like yourself.
You know what else needs to happen? We actually do need to burn the Constitution because it is just like a piece of paper, like George Bush said, and we need to rewrite the fucking thing. There shouldn't be freedom of religion. See, that's how you can tell the Jesuits created the nation. Freedom of religion is a major problem.
Is it though?
There should not be freedom of religion. We should be free from religion. And if you think that's a problem, you're the problem, okay? You can't see that churches run the nation. Why do you think they don't have to pay any taxes? Why do you think churches don't have to pay any taxes? You can't see who runs this nation just through that alone? I mean, that's the $1 million clue right there.
This is a dumb take. Charities don't have to pay taxes either. Does that mean they run the nation? Goodwill runs the nation according to shit for brains logic. Also, all churches don't have to pay taxes, not just Catholic ones, which is who he blames pretty much exclusively.
The church runs this nation.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
The entire Constitution can be rewritten. It is just a piece of paper. George W. Bush said it when he was president. He said it's just a piece of paper. He was exactly right. No, we need freedom from religion. That needs to be right at the top. No more religion. It's all gone. Wash it all away. Get rid of it. It's garbage. It's trash. It's holding humanity down. You want to know why you got a nation of retards? It's the foundation of the retardation of this nation.
Another dumb take. People are less religious than ever, and yet they're dumber than ever.
Yeah, I just hate how anytime I call out just like bullshit in the community, there's always some moron that's like, why do you gotta beef? I like both of you. That seems like a troll bot comment too, because whenever I get these comments, I'm like, I've never seen this person ever leave a comment on my channel before. But then within minutes, they're there, why do you gotta do that? I like both of you. I'm like, I don't give a shit if you like both of us. You're a fucking retard.
Why am I toxic?
I don't give a fuck about you. You know, kick rocks. Again, I don't want short bus riders around here. I don't want flat earth retards around here. I don't want religious people around here. I don't want retards that follow shills around here.
Wait a second.
But no, I really don't want those three groups of people. Those people aren't going to help me with anything at the end of the day. I don't trust religious people. They're the worst people in society.
I'm fucking sick of religious people. Wipe them off the fucking face of the earth.
I don't trust dumb people. And flat earthers, like I just said about, I mean, you think the earth is flat? You got to be a special kind of dumb.
You guys, I don't want to make fun of people because of the way they appear.
I mean, who even wants to look at sticks? It looks like the offspring of a praying mantis fucking a warthog.
Yeah.
As predicted, and it was a very easy call, the Dodgers beat the Padres 89 days after Steve Garvey's birthday. And of course, Garvey played for the Dodgers and the Padres and is running for political office and expected to become a senator later this year at about the time the World Series will pop off.
No, he's not.
Congrats on the Rams money line. What'd that pay? $10 if you bet 100 on it? The brilliance of Arthur. Bet 100 to win 10. And if you guys haven't seen when we travel before, if you're new here, I mean, we have traveled. We've gone city to city for major anniversaries, and we have a big impact.
Debatable.
But it's costly and it's expensive. And since I did that all over the place in 2022, my financial support's been cut down to a fraction of what it was.
And again, his whole goal is to get people to not support me.
And I think that's also the machine clamping down.
Sure, Dan.
Again, if college sports were real, Houston wouldn't have just gotten beaten by 30 points in their tournament championship when they're the number one team in the nation. Number one teams don't get beat by 30 points. That only happens in rigged sports.
The Dodgers also came through yesterday as expected. And remember, that's going to be a pattern to follow all year. Steve Garvey and the Dodgers, because now they've synced up the first spring training game with him, which was Dodgers over Padres, the two teams he played for. Again, Steve Garvey, former Dodger and Padre, now who's likely to become the senator in California. Yeah, Dodgers took care of business in the government California ritual today. I think that's a good sign for Steve Garvey, too, for the rig selection upcoming in November at World Series time.
Imagine how fucking retarded you have to be to think Steve Garvey is going to win the California Senate race.
Howard has more things lined up here for him. It's their 53rd season, Howard, which is the 16th prime. And whoever wins this game is going to be the 16 seed. Notice if Wagner loses, they'd be 16-16. And then Howard would stay on 16 losses going in as a 16 seed. If North Carolina beats Howard, Hubert Davis, the coach of UNC, would become 6-1 in the tournament, and Howard Bison equals 61. And Michael Jordan's 61 years old right now as well. The Howard coach is also on 61 wins coming into this game. So if he wins, he'd get his 62nd. Jordan equals 62 in Jordan school. But then the other thing that jumped out to me is from Michael Jordan's last birthday to the game that would be UNC and Howard is 33 days later, and Howard equals 33 in the most pure cipher, and Michael's 33.
How about shut the fuck up, morons? I'm not wrong about anything.
Colorado State, Virginia. And actually, I had already started to lean towards Virginia. But then on ESPN's bracket, they have Virginia in for every single one. Again, unless ESPN's baiting everybody, it could be a giveaway. But ultimately, what I was thinking with Virginia as well, Virginia has that double connection to 89. 89 is the 24th prime. If Virginia prevailed, they'd have 24 wins. Colorado State would stay on 24 wins. But yeah, so I'm gonna take Virginia just based on the ESPN clues and what I just said there about those things. Casinos have never taken losses like this before. And the thing that stood out to me about Grambling is it's their 47th season. And you see how Grambling's 47? It's also 52. Whoever wins plays Purdue and Indiana has that 47-52 connection as well. I'm thinking Grambling in their 47th season to face the Indiana school makes the most sense. And then he's always doing his false math for how much money you would have lost, which is total BS. In the West, I got North Carolina advancing as well as Michigan State. If BYU loses to Duquesne, they're going to be 15-34. And in the most pure cipher, Duquesne is 34, and their nickname, the Dukes, is 15 in the most pure. We did see the 15 part, so I changed my mind about that game. I think Duquesne has the better narrative, and they have a lot of value. Like, Arthur does this a lot. He ruins his video by saying something that's fundamentally not true. And I'm like, man, that's going to ruin the whole video. Somebody who knows the facts is going to be like, I'm not listening to this guy. What he just said is totally false.
Both those games were upsets because Michigan State was also the underdog.
Screw these trolls. Why they all the work that they try to do to sully your name, they don't have they can't come on here and debate you and show you statistics of everything that you were wrong on.
I can show you plenty of statistics of everything he was wrong on. Just keep watching the video, egghead.
They only can say something that is not concrete. It's just crazy.
Well,
You know?
the same trolls are the same ones that are dropping the comments for the one guy who screen records everything and
You all know exactly who I am. Say my name.
then edits everything in a certain way to make it look like I was on the wrong side.
See, this is just bullshit.
And Creighton Akron, again, Creighton could stay on 23 wins, got the double 23. So I'm thinking Akron's got a real upset shot there. Yeah, so Akron advancing over Creighton in the 23 narrative.
I'm right about everything.
But right now, the championship I am leaning towards is a rematch in 1997. The Battle of the Wildcats, the Lute Olson, deja vu. Because again, in 1985, Kentucky hosted, the Wildcats won, the Villanova Wildcats. By the way, Villanova Wildcats equals 64 in gematria. If Arizona won it all this year, they'd have 64 tournament wins. So we know Arizona's starting it against Long Beach College, which is Lute Olson's first school. Yeah, I have Arizona advancing over North Carolina in the Elite Eight in that. In the West, I got North Carolina advancing. I got UConn, Northwestern, Illinois. I got all those schools advancing. I like Dayton. Dayton can get to 20-20 in the tournament. Nevada equals 20 in the most pure, and they got a nice little value because I mean they're a slight dog with seemingly the kind of narrative you want. Nevada 20 in the most pure. Dayton wins. They're 20-20 in the tournament. The Texas Colorado State game. I don't really see a whole lot to bite into in that game. If Texas won, they'd be 40-40, and Longhorns is 40, and it is their 118th season, but that's not always a good thing. I'm just going to pencil in right now for Texas. But again, my confidence in this game is definitely not the game to let ruin your day. Kentucky obviously advancing over Oakland.
You know what, you guys? This is not a false statement. I could wipe my ass with the name Nostradamus. Literally.
Right now, the championship I am leaning towards is a rematch in 1997. The Battle of the Wildcats.
I'm not a greedy person. I don't say, here, to get my sports picks, you got to pay $500 a month, even though they're worth that. They're worth that.
This is the third straight year that one of the teams he picked to make the championship game lost in the opening round, laughing my fucking ass off. In 2022, he had Kentucky, who lost to number 15 St. Peter's. In 2023, he had Arizona, who lost to number 15 Princeton, and in 2024, he had Kentucky, who lost to number 14 Oakland.
The media is selling that McNeese upset way too much, so I'm thinking Gonzaga. I got UConn, Iowa State. I got all those schools advancing. St. Peter's, one more time. If they upset, their coach is going to get the 34th win, and Tennessee's 34 in the most pure. Tennessee, who we're hoping gets upset by the St. Peter's Peacocks. Just everyone keeps talking about this Dalton Connect for Tennessee, but he has to get past that St. Peter's narrative.
Do you know how much money I've pulled out of the casino's pockets? I guarantee you it's in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
I'm going Texas Tech. Bob Knight coached Texas Tech in addition to Indiana. We know he died at the start of the year. Again, Calipari, if he beats Oakland in the opening round, gets his 58th win. Oakland's 58, then he'd face Texas Tech, Mahomes School, after he won Super Bowl 58. I'm thinking the 58 in the year of Super Bowl 58's the kicker. So anyway, Texas Tech.
You're not me. You're not the person who broke the code. You're not the person who's helped people win for 10 years.
I'm sure there's somebody in a casino right now with my picture throwing darts at it. Fuck that guy, cost us a lot of money again this weekend. They're also selling the Samford upset way too much, so I'm thinking Kansas. And like I said, if Kansas and Gonzaga face each other, Kansas can get their 118th tournament win. Both schools have the 118 connection. I got Drake facing Iowa State. And ultimately, I decided Drake could advance because they're the Bulldogs, and Bulldogs is 29 in gematria and the most pure. And if Illinois beat Drake, they'd get their 29th win.
Another wrong predictions.
People want to focus on the things where I've been wrong. You know? Why? Day started off better in March Madness than we closed out. And the one thing that I want to slap myself for is letting the media bait me into the Drake narrative. I got UConn, Northwestern, got all those schools advancing. And I did talk about earlier Colgate's narrative to upset, but I'm actually thinking Baylor's going to beat Colgate. Because then what it sets up is New Mexico to get their 28th win over Baylor. And Baylor likes that 28 number. Baylor equals 28 in the most pure. So I got UConn, Northwestern, San Diego State. I got all those schools advancing. It did stand out to me that if Marquette beats Western Kentucky as they're expected to, their next win in the next round would be the 27th. Florida is the 27th state. Say Marquette beats Western Kentucky and then they beat Florida, they get their 27th win over them. I got UConn, got all those schools advancing. Coming back, I like New Mexico. So if New Mexico gets their 27th win over Clemson, Clemson's 27 in the most pure, they can get their 28th win over Baylor. So I got, again, New Mexico.
There's never been anyone more right who's walked on the face of this fucking earth than yours truly.
I got UConn, Northwestern, San Diego State, Yale. Got all those schools advancing.
I can't wait to see the trolls video.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, you would have lost like $3,000," and it's like,
that's all he ever
how?
does. Yeah, I know. It's just like, I don't know why that guy it's just pathetic, man. And
Is it though?
People don't listen well. They don't do what I say to do, and then when things go wrong, they cry to me about what happened. Meanwhile, day after day, I'm giving out winning knowledge, smart advice. I got Nebraska over Texas A&M, and Nebraska equals 26 in the most pure. I like that if Samson beats Houston, Samson of Houston, the coach, I like that if he beats Nebraska, he'll get his 26th tournament win. And again, Nebraska's 26 in the most pure. If you lose, what a loser would do is blame the person who's been giving them the good advice. Vermont upsets Duke. And Vermont really does have that nice double 39 ritual to beat the Blue Devils. Blue Devils is 39 in the most pure. Again, you stay with me, you'll stay consistently winning. So yeah, my Midwest, I'm favoring Purdue to win in the opening round. I'm going with Charleston to get their 13th straight win over Alabama as a 13 seed. It just seems too 13.
congrats to the winners. I know the trolls hate it, but the winners love it. And there's always a lot of them around here because we're just constantly winning.
And then let's go to the South. So in the South, I got Houston advancing over Longwood. That's what we call a fucking loser. TCU to beat Utah State. Yeah, you might have a lot of predictions, but how often are you wrong? Who cares about how often I'm wrong? I decided I prefer Grand Canyon to St. Mary's. The Grand Canyon coach can stay on 139 losses as well, and St. Mary's is 139. Grand Canyon's a Phoenix school, just with the Final Four being there. Gematria and English and killing all equals 74.
Zach, the mean, median, and mode with your 4 ciphers, you have a 30% outcome of getting the same number.
No, that's totally
That's why
false.
troll.
That's totally false.
No, not totally false. I did the math. My dad's a nuclear
You're a
physicist.
waiter. You don't know anything about anything. You have a 30% chance.
So it sounds to me like he hates anybody who just ever had a real job.
If you've put in a nice future for Arizona to win it all, Dayton has a ton of value, and I would say Dayton is a good hedge bet today because there is a scare here for Arizona. Notice right on the surface, if Dayton wins, they're 26-7, and University of Arizona is 267. The 267 is the scare for Arizona today, that Dayton could get to 26-7. Arizona's who I'm pulling for, but Dayton's service level record, a bit scary. The 7 seed on the 7-date numerology, potentially staying on 7 losses, getting to 26-7. Like I said, if you got a big future on Arizona, you can hedge with Dayton. Say you had $100 on Arizona future, you put 30 on Dayton today, you're going to make your money back. That's the thinking. That's why they say wise men hedge their bets, and we see reasons to hedge right here. There's all kinds of concerns for Arizona, so.
I mean, it's been winning.
Gonzaga and Kansas, I thought this matchup was going to happen. It seemed destined. Again, Bill Self, Mark Few have the exact same birthday. My initial thought was that Kansas and Gonzaga would both advance when all of the media had them getting upset in the first round, which didn't look right at all. So I'm going to stick with my initial thought about Kansas getting past Gonzaga here. I do right now give the edge to Gonzaga picking up their 26th tournament loss, because Jayhawks is 26 in the most pure, and Kansas picking up their 118th tournament win because Gonzaga, Jayhawks, and March Madness are all 118.
He's like, why are more people following this? They're wrong about everything. Every last prediction's wrong.
Oakland and NC State. What stands out to me is that if Oakland upsets, again, they're 3-3 in the tournament, and Wolfpack is 33 in the most pure. If Oakland did win, this is their 25th season, could get their 25th win in their 25th season. I'm leaning more towards Oakland just because, yeah, they went through Kentucky and that 33 potential. I mean, 33 is always a special number. So 3-3 in the tournament. Yeah, that's the narrative I'm leaning towards.
And then it's like, here I am over here predicting the future dead on year after year, sports and news.
Texas, Tennessee. The 43s are what's jumping out here to me. Volunteers, which is Tennessee. Tennessee's the Volunteers. Volunteers is 43 in the most pure. If Texas lost, their coach would fall to 4-3 in the tournament, and he'd stay on 43 wins with Texas. The Tennessee coach can get his 805th win in the 85th tournament. So that 805-85 standing out to me. Oregon, Creighton. But I think Creighton's got this one. Creighton can stay on 9 losses. Again, it's the 23rd. 23 is the 9th prime. Altman can get his 16th loss on the 16-date numerology. But the thing is, Creighton's on 25 losses, and that 25's been hitting in a lot of Oregon games recently. Oregon's 25. This is the other thing, that they're all-time head-to-head. If Creighton wins, they'll be 2-3 versus Oregon. on the 23rd. Blue Jays is 23 in the most pure. The Ducks that would then fall to 3-2 versus Creighton, and Ducks has the 32 connection. Yeah, I think Creighton's got the edge there in that one. And then he's always doing his false math for how much money you would have lost, which is total BS. Congrats to the winners.
Yeah, we hit the bookie nice.
And then NC State, Oakland. I see the media selling real hard that it wasn't a bad call on the replay, but the announcers were shocked in the actual game. And I don't know how you make the argument that that wasn't Oakland's ball at the end when you can see the defender's hand bending backwards. They're trying to say the guy was still passing the ball. His hand was still on the ball. It's like, okay, it doesn't even make any sense. But that was cheap how they took away Oakland's opportunity to win the game. They literally took away the opportunity for Oakland to have the final shot of the game, which they should have had. Just all the sheep are like, oh, no, that was the right call. Because what? Because the media is now saying it was the right call? Bullshit, it was the right call. You could clearly see the defender's hand snap backwards. He was the last one to touch it.
Wrong, moron! Absolutely wrong.
The other thing that's annoying is you just see how the trolls do have an impact, though, because then they all start circulating the same messages. Like they're all communicating the same lie. After the fact, Zach, like they've coined this nickname that's total bullshit.
You'll get on and lie to save your own ass. You don't ever see me getting on here and lying.
Just another full of shit person. Colorado Marquette. However, the winner of this game plays NC State, which equals 44. So if Marquette gets that 44th win, they're on their way to face NC State. And again, these two schools, I don't see really a narrative for Colorado to win the championship. I do see one potentially for Marquette. So I think, I prefer Marquette by a hair, but. And again, Purdue's next win is 31. Purdue does equal 31 in the most pure cipher. So I think Purdue survives here and moves on to the next round. James Madison and Duke. Again, very interesting because James Madison, the president, died at age 85. This is the 85th tournament. If they went deep, their coach could get to 8-5. I think that would put them in the Final Four, and it's possible. Seems like it'd be a big Cinderella story, but we could get the joke with James Madison dying at age 85. And the one other thing is James Madison's in their 48th season, like how Arizona, the 48th state's hosting the Final Four. And the first game of this tournament was exactly 48 weeks into the coach's age. The James Madison coach, if he won 2 more, he'd be 7-5 in the tournament. And Madison equals 75. James Madison, the small way, is also 75. If Duke lost in the tournament, their coach would fall to 2-2 in the tournament, and Duke has that 22 connection like basketball. James Madison's next win is 83, or their coach's next win with the team is 83. Cinderella's 83.
How about shut the fuck up, morons? I'm not wrong about anything.
All right, Clemson, Baylor. The Baylor coach could stay on 243 losses because Clemson University's 243. And remember, his brother, the Baylor coach's brother, coaches at Grand Canyon. Could maybe they both advance in this round? Grand Canyon has a narrative to beat Alabama today. Baylor's on 24 wins for the year, but 23 wins in the tournament. They could get their 24th win today. Baylor has that 89 connection, the 24th prime. But yeah, I'll give the edge to Baylor just because of both Drews going and maybe the Drew brothers are a storyline. That fucking piece of shit's putting out a video of my face with money on fire. Zach loses people even more money. Grand Canyon would be the more interesting storyline for the Drews since they'd be an upset, but Alabama likes 2 numbers a lot, 13 and 31. And if Grand Canyon wins this game, they're on 31 wins, beating Alabama. I know today's 185 days after Bryce Drew's birthday. The word basketball is 85 forwards, like this is the 85th tournament. The word basketball is 185 in reverse. The Grand Canyon coach can also stay on 31 losses with the team. Grand Canyon's not a one-way street, but they have a lot of value. They have a decent narrative to upset.
Again, use this knowledge in your selective. You can win at a high ratio.
Northwestern and UConn, again, I don't think UConn goes out here, and I'm hoping today what we see is UConn wins and Yale wins, the two Connecticut schools, and then they meet up in the next round. Yeah, we just saw Stetson stay on 22 wins versus UConn. UConn's 22 in the most pure cipher like basketball. In reverse, UConn does have the 23 connection, so just like how Stetson had a prayer through that 23 but got blown out, Northwestern's a better team. They could also potentially get the 23rd win, but I don't think UConn gets knocked out yet. The Texas A&M and Houston. If Texas A&M wins today, Stephen A. Smith might have had some inside intel on the script by putting all ones in his Final Four except for Texas A&M, and he kept laughing about it. He's like, "What? My pick was ballsy. I put a 9 seed there." This is the Battle of Texas, and 2 Texas numbers can hit in favor of Texas A&M. And notice Houston's season would end on 31 wins, and we know Houston does like 31 a lot, like UConn got their 31st win in the championship in Houston last year. But Texas A&M can get their 15th tournament win, and Houston can get their 30th tournament loss. Texas is 15 forwards, 30 in reverse. So that's one thing that stands out. If the Texas A&M team prevailed, their coach would stay on 61 losses with the team. Houston Cougars is 61 in the most pure. Texas A&M does equal 83, like Cinderella equals 83. And again, the 9th track of that new Future album is called Cinderella. We thought there was something interesting there with Michigan State giving UNC a scare. That didn't happen. So now, Texas A&M is the next shot at this Cinderella upset narrative at the 9 seed. Also, another big one that could go against Houston, Kelvin Sampson can get his 20th loss. Texas A&M is 20 in the most pure. You got a number of narratives for Texas A&M to shock. There's a potential upset narrative today. You know how much money I've pulled out of the casino's pockets? I guarantee you it's in the hundreds of millions of dollars. All right, and then Yale, San Diego State. This was on my original bracket. I like San Diego State and Yale to both advance to set up this matchup because now it sets up the narrative where San Diego State can get their 16th loss. Yale's 16 in the most pure. The Auburn-Yale game was tied at 16 early. And then Brian Dutcher can fall to 6-5. And Yale does equal 65 as well. So you got 2 Yale things that can play against San Diego State. But yeah, I see narrative for an upset. I'm not a greedy person. I don't say, here, to get my sports picks, you got to pay $500 a month, even though they're worth that. They're worth that. And then he's always doing his false math for how much money you would have lost, which is total BS. Congrats to the winners. Yeah, we hit the bookie nice.
Whoa, just take it easy, man.
And then the round of 32 was pretty disappointing for us in March Madness, unfortunately. We should have just took all favorites. We would have gone 15 out of 16. I mean, they didn't have any variety, really. The only upset was Clemson over Baylor.
And he got that game wrong.
And that wasn't a very big upset. It was a 6 seed over a 3 seed. But yeah, every betting favorite except for one in the round of 32. And that was pretty lame. Anyhow, we'll regroup and see if we can do a lot better in the Sweet 16.
I have my doubts.
There were some decent narratives on the board, but they fell short. And anyone who leaves a comment like, you lose way more than you win with gematria. Only if you're retarded, literally. Only if you're retarded are you losing more with this knowledge than winning. I'm
going to start calling myself a fucking retard too.
For the person who said we should start our own news team, yeah, I've been saying that's why the world should support this work, because this work's been unprecedented. We've helped people make a ton of money off sports. Again, there's no reason for my support to be half of what it was from when we went out to Oklahoma City for the anniversary of the bombing and 9/11 for the anniversary of the attack. Since we did that, my support is half of what it was after driving across the nation.
And again, his whole goal is to get people to not support me.
And we didn't have anywhere near enough support back then.
Oh, really? Flashback.
I'll tell you what, though, if this per month thing gets up to something like $10,000 a month, I'll hire a couple people. You know, then I can afford to have some employees. I'll hire Jonathan, you know.
Right now, there's 10,787 coming in a month. That's more than I need for myself. That's why I'm paying $1,000 a month for a website. That's why I'm saving the rest of the money for a future cause, like getting a building and renovating it and being able to have the resources to put in the furniture that we can have to set up a, geometry effect news studio. This money is for the cause. If this money goes up to $30,000, I'm telling you guys, it's going to happen overnight. We're going to have the building. We're going to have people hired. It's going to make a huge difference. We can do a lot with $30,000 a month, but I am saying we hit $30,000, things will happen. Things will happen, and they'll happen fast, and you'll see it. I'm transparent.
In this electronic world, it's easy to scam. And we just have a fraction of what we had before that, and it's just crazy. It's like, I don't understand how people can just pour their money into all these shills, and then we sit over here with hardly any funding.
I mean, to me, that's a joke right there. That's a joke. I don't even want to hear that. It's just like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Now, again, shameless promotion for Minero Coffee. Again, they are the first sponsor of the program. And we haven't even signed the contract yet, but they sent me some free coffee in a mug. Support a local startup who's willing to give a small donation to a truth seeker. But
For this. And this is what it's become.
yeah, check out that company, Minero Coffee. Eventually, I'll have an affiliate link, and I think you'll get a discount or something. But it's the first sponsor I've allowed on this program. And the reason I allowed the sponsorship is because the guy who does the marketing actually watches my channel. I've been offered a whole bunch of sponsorships over the years, and I've always said no.
I doubt it.
But this guy was a legitimate truth seeker and down for the cause. So you want to check out Minero Coffee.
No, I'm good.
The mainstream media will lie to you all day. The trolls will lie to you all day. We don't lie over here. We don't have any reason to lie. There's nothing to lie about.
Here's a risk. No caller ID. Let's see if no caller ID is a troll or somebody actually trying to help the show. No caller ID.
Tell you that it was cute of you to delete an hour of that stream the other day where a bunch of trolls called.
Nobody delete any stream. All right, you're a troll. Nobody delete any hour of stream. Go away and make up stories somewhere else, loser.
Literally, just nothing but lying. Just get on and just stream all day. Lie, 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 lie.
That's all, folks.
Till next time, truth seeker.